The LED shader allows us to create an LED panel, and as you can see, it's found within the built-ins, within the shader tab and the effect folder. To get this to work, we'll need to drag it onto some type of geometry. I'm going to drag a rectangle up into the scene tree, and let's just come and spread our rectangle out here within the rectangle properties editor, and we'll just spread this out to about 250, and then come back into our transformation axis editor here and scale this up. We'll want to drag some type of picture on it, so go ahead into your server, look for an image that you want to use, and just drag that onto your rectangle. I'm just going to use a picture of a cityscape here. We'll come into the texture editor, and you can either scale it up on the linear and or just put it at vertex so it fills the screen. Now we're going to go back into our built-ins, into the shader tab, and within the effect folder, we're going to drag this LED panel shader onto our rectangle. And when we do that, you can see that it converts this picture / geometry into basically an LED panel. So within the LED shader plugin, we have a couple of options. First, we have a pixel size. It's set to 10 by default. We can come down and decrease this down to 0. There's no pixels, and you can increase it to basically the minimum of 1 here, where you start to see our pixels, and you could increase that up all the way up to whichever you need it. You can keep going with the zeros there. So we'll just reset it to where we need it. We also have a billboard size X here. As we decrease this, you can see that it will take away the number of rows or columns that we have on the X here, and if we increase that number, again, we're adding the number of LED lights on here on the X. We also have the same for the billboard size Y. We're adding LED lights here as we increase the size Y, and as we decrease this number, we're taking away the number of LED lights. There's also a tolerance, so we can increase that or decrease it, and you can see when we take this tolerance up, now transforms these into square LED panels as opposed to the more circular as you take it down. We have a pixel radius. We can increase that or decrease it again, and decreasing it takes the size of those circular LED lights down. Increasing it will increase the size of it, thus filling the panels there full, making it square. Below that, we have illuminance steps. As we decrease this, it takes away the color and or increases the color there within our LED panel. Below that, we then have a luminance boost, so we can increase the white value of this if we need to. There's also a color boost, so as we decrease that luminance boost and increase the color boost, you can see how that affects the LED panel. As you can see, there's an empty box here waiting for noise. That means we could come over to our server and you can drag an image in there to add some noise to it. Below that, you have a background color. It's set to a dark gray by default. If we just come in here and change this to a different color, you can see that it affects that background rectangle that we have. So we'll change it back to black, and then if you do need to use the LED panel, this can be used obviously to make LED panels and or some images or texture images for your scene design. So for instance, you see our server down here, you have this little image that we have used before and we created with this little LED panel, took a snapshot of it, and then saved it off so that we could reuse it texture objects later on. So that's how you can use the LED shader.